Hello, good evening. It is February 12th, 2026. This is video journal number 3 in this series of stream of consciousness, smoking a little weed, stream of consciousness processing to get to the end result of doing 40 daily 30-minute video journals after meditating for an hour, journaling for 1 page at least, no top limit, and then video journaling. I don't know if video journal will follow directly after that, or if this will be an evening task after a morning that included that. I think that's probably what it'll be, is wake up early enough, so at least 6 a.m., to sit in silence and stillness for an hour. So call that 7:15. And then go to Pony Coffee and journal, and then work, and then video journal. I think that's what it'll end up being. Today we decided to do a podcast on Reflections on Now on Lent, and what we feel God is leading us into, essentially sharing that with each other and with the audience. And Matt's spiritual director is going to join us for that conversation, and I think that's going to be great. Really great. So excited for that. Also had good work day and chat with Rachel. Great work day and chat with Matt. And got a lot done. Made progress on big projects that are moving forward. I made a reel today, and an Instagram reel of do I look like Fred Armisen? Because I got reminded of that this morning, and then I had the idea for the reel, so I made it. And it's just me saying, do I look like Fred Armisen? And showing photos above me and behind me, and then sharing the screenshots that I have of all of the comments that say that I look like Fred Armisen. It seemed funny and then I always on Instagram, I try to always have a joke within a joke, of the thing itself is funny or interesting or weird and engaging. And then I like the caption to either be its own joke, or a comment be its own joke, and or both if I'm clever enough. Today's cleverness was, on Instagram you can run a poll, and the caption is the question for the poll. And I did, do I look like Fred Armisen? Doppelganger? I barely know her. as the responses, which made me laugh, and came in the moment of doing it. I had a recent Instagram reel, because that it is currently at like 400 and something thousand views, and like thousands of engagements as far as comments and shares. It's like every time I open Instagram on my phone, it's the comment, the notification bubble comes up, and at least a few, and then if I don't open it for a while, it's like 20 comments. And I'm kind of tired of it. Because all of the comments are like, well, in this case, they are nonsense and racist, because it's on a reel that I recorded. It's on a reel of a video that I recorded while I was at Pony Coffee last week or the week before, and a customer walks in and says, "There's some boys playing guns out there." And I'm already standing up because I'm about to leave, and so I'm the first one. I'm the closest to the window to look, and I look out, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Because the scene that I immediately look at is a black guy with a white shirt on and probably 6 foot 250, and he is unarmed, and I see two white men pointing their guns at him, and one is shirtless, with like the shirt ripped and dangling over his shoulder, and the other one is wearing a golf hat and looks like a biker. He has this beard and looks like a softcore biker. I don't know. And the scene just unfolds in front of me, and my instinct always is to capture. And almost instantly after recording, I know that this is evidence. Like, because the risk of somebody getting shot right now is incredibly high. And if somebody gets shot, this is evidence. Then the scene played out for so long that the softcore biker was brandishing his gun in this man's face, while two and eventually three women stand in front of the black man to shield him because of how he was behaving with intent. And he was not letting the man leave, and he continued to point his gun at him after the 3 full minutes, and the man is not fighting, not posing a threat. He is not approaching the situation with aggression, but frustratingly yelling his point, and pushing. So this is whenever there's a part where he has his gun out and he is pointing it, but they're like, arguing. But then his girl, I'm assuming it just seems that way, puts herself in the way, and he's holding his gun up, and then he puts his gun down, reaches up, pushes her out of the way, and then locks back in. And in that moment, I was almost certain we were about to be witnesses, and this is evidence. It continues, and then finally, another man that knew them came and calmed the guy down. I assume he knows him. And he holstered his gun. And then I stopped recording after it was clear that it was no longer needed for evidence. And then I waited for the cops and gave them that video. And then I have no idea if I have no other update on that, except for I know that the owners of the property next to that apartment building saw the video and are in relationship and are talking to the owner of the building that all the people with the guns and it seems like everybody lives in that apartment building, and they were fighting in the parking lot of their apartment building. I don't know how many live there, but it may be most or all of them. So they're trying to get some consequences through that. Getting them evicted is what she said. But anyways, I posted that as a reel, as evidence, and it isn't clever. It is dated and located, and the only clever bit that came from that was Gary Black asked if what are they arguing about, and I have no idea what they're arguing about. But in the context that I knew, actually I need to add that to the story, is that somebody who had seen it before I started filming said that the black guy and the guy with the shirt ripped, that they were fighting. And a guy told me the other day that he saw it, and he's the one who called the cops first. He said that the black guy was winning the fight, is what was happening. And then he got two guns drawn on him. Which is an interesting thing, because the comments are largely majority racist comments, but the black community and the anti-white community, I don't know what, it's so I don't even know what the right word is for, it's racism. I mean, that's the word that I use and word that I agree to use there. But it's a lot of racism has its own word, like anti-Semitism. And whenever I say racist comments, your mind is automatically thinking that it's white people being racist. But the comments are mostly black people being racist. And some a small no, I take that back. The other comments, a lot of them are just gun owners giving their opinion of what they're seeing being a crime. It's you don't see the fight, so you don't have the full context of why the guns were drawn. So you start basically from a neutral point of seeing two people with guns drawn on one unarmed person, and then witnessing it, what plays out, and a responsible gun owner knows that the softcore biker is committing a crime in this moment. And so just adding their 2 cents to that conversation. And then some nonsense, and a few people that I've had to block. Just, it was like, a lot of the comments like are racist, but then there are like the racism, like the comment itself is like unacceptable. So block. And I have stopped even really. It's like I just skim the comments, the new comments that come on that video. Just to circle back to, I'm kind of getting over it. Opening my phone and it's saying, 20 comments, which would be like abnormal for me. So that is like, it gives you that dopamine hit of seeing that, and then I check it, and all the comments are nonsense, and nonsense and repetitive. Of there's nothing more that can be said about that video that I haven't already heard or thought about, so they're no longer interesting. Yeah. Just having some inside thoughts. Childhood memories. Cage of Turtles is on the next on the list, and no, first grade Turtle, and Cage of Turtles, but first grade Turtle is the first thing on the list, and that's where the story starts anyway. That in first grade, I was obsessed with turtles, and if you go look through my archive, the video footage that I have pre first grade will tell you why I was obsessed with turtles. Lots of Ninja Turtles. And so in first grade, I kept telling my teacher, I'm going to bring a turtle to school on show and tell on Friday. And Friday would come, and I did not have a turtle, because I didn't find one. And then the next day, or the next Friday comes, and I don't have a turtle. And the next Friday comes, and I tell her, we went to the pet store to buy a turtle, and you can't legally buy a turtle in Oklahoma unless it's for education, essentially, is what. And that was the law at the time, and I have no idea if it still is. But they were like little baby red-eared sliders in this tank, and I'm almost positive it was, you had to have a teacher's license to legally buy a turtle in Oklahoma. And the next Friday, I come to school, and she has a tank on her desk, and she had gone out to her pond and caught a turtle, and Now I am a proud turtle owner because of Miss Edson. And I wrote a poem about it. It's going to be in poems. First Grade Show and Tell is the name of the poem. I've rescued more than my fair share of turtles from the perils of our civilized society. 2 this year, 1 yesterday from a rolling stampede compelled by a green. I do not know what draws me to the turtle with its unkind face and its withdrawn, cold nature. And yet I am joyous at the chance to say hello, compelled to action through compassion in the face of danger. I told Miss Edson for weeks my first year as a cardinal that Friday's show and tell I was going to bring a turtle. Many Fridays came and went, but I couldn't let it go. Next week, I'll have a Donatello to show. Her smile hangs with anticipation as she calls me to her desk 25 years later, and this memory remains fresh. Compelled by my dream, she went fishing by her pond. I am now showing and telling and holding a turtle in my arms. He's now a shell of what he once was. We're alike in that way, but her love and his life live on in the man I am today. Yeah, that's the story of my first grade turtle. And it leads to the cage of turtles because on my way home one day from school on the railroad tracks in between the school and our house, another turtle showed up. Now I have 2 turtles. And then I find more turtles, and it was at least 4. I think, yeah, I wish I knew the exact number, but safely between 4 and 6. And, they need somewhere to live outside. And so we made a big pen for them to live in. And that pen was made up by the wall of the shed, the fence, and 2 glass doors that my dad had. And a windy day blew over the doors, and the turtles escaped. I found one of them, and I honestly don't remember what happened to that one remaining turtle. I mean, probably the same thing. Put the doors back up and put the remaining one in there, and they blew over again. Would be my guess, but yeah, I don't actually remember. Yeah, in the archive you can see Ninja Turtle pajamas, Ninja Turtle chair. My dad and I make a Ninja Turtle snowman. There's a video of me saying turtle and reaching for it. And I remember the day that I graduated from Ninja Turtles, that I chose that this was the end of the line for the Turtles. I am sure it's on this list somewhere. Whenever I was somewhere around 6 years old, we could figure that out, but somewhere around 6 years old, my dad worked at the Enid Motor Speedway, and he drove a a concession trailer out into the pits and served the pit area their concessions. And I would go with him, and I learned how to give people's change back because it was simple change. Everything would have been in dollars and quarters. Like, not, there would have been no odd things. It would be, it's $1, $2, $3, or $4 or $1.50. And so I started doing the simple math pretty easily of what change they needed back. So my dad would let me run the window, and people started giving me tips. And so I made a little cup that I wrote tips on, and people would put money in there. And then somebody complained to like the head concession honcho that, there's a cute little 6-year-old with a handwritten cup that says tips on it, and it makes everybody feel obligated that they have to pay more for their concession than they need to. So my dad changed my little cup to an OU Stein that printed out a paper that said Cody's College Fund. And then I started making more money per night than my dad did getting paid to be there. And he let me keep half of it for that moment, and then put half of it in a college fund that he did give me the proceeds of whenever I turned 18 and didn't go to college. But I elected to withdraw. It had not earned much interest. It was hidden under a rock, but I got it nonetheless. And there was the end of a season where it's the end of the race season, and it's my dad's last day to run the pit concessions at Enum Motor Speedway, because this was his last season. He wasn't going to do it anymore. He was moving on. And so I knew that this was our last time. We were never coming back to this RV. I had brought my 2 Ninja Turtles action figures, and whenever we left, I opened the glove box of that RV and put the Ninja Turtles in there, and then we left and walked out into the sunset. I regretted that later, and I wanted them back, but it was my gesture. I never got him back. I regretted it much, much later. It was like, oh, where's my Ninja Turtles? I'm like, oh yeah, I did the thing. It's like, put in this, but right now I would like to have them. Like genuinely, my 30, almost 7-year-old self would like to have at least one of those for, my collection of my archive. I still have all of my ventriloquist dolls. I have 2 of them here, because there's 3 of them here. I think I brought the tie. I may have not, though, now that I think about it. But I have... Oh, I need to look at that Christmas video. Noodle, the chicken noodle, I have him here, and then a little girl that I don't remember if she ever had a name. I'm sure she did, but She's just a small felt puppet, but I had a bigger felt puppet. She was just a small she was a small felt puppet, but I had a bigger felt puppet named Doug, that was wearing a knockoff Gap shirt, that said Cap, I think. And he was more of a regular character, but not the star like Howdy Doody. Howdy Do's the main show, the closer. I found more footage of me, um, with my ventriloquist doll, through my grandpa's tapes. Uh, there was 2 additional angles of videos I already have that reveal, they don't. He was recording bits that are not in the other videos, so that's new footage, and also his camera, I think, was like the best of the bunch. So some of it looks and sounds better than the other footage I have. But then a never before seen, Cody performance where I performed for the Central Assembly of God, missionettes, and I that was, not only never before seen, but never even remembered. Like, whenever I saw the video, it was one of those experiences of like, I have no memory of this. This is all the 100% brand new to me. Versus a lot of the things, like, prime example, I found also never before seen footage of a remembered, performance. The only other performance that I remember that I don't have footage of was at my grandpa's church's, Valentine's banquet. Oh, Valentine's is on Saturday. I should look at what. Yeah, I need to look that in. That may be a good Valentine's Day reel. Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm just on that idea. I like that idea. Uh, so why I'm thinking about it though is this Valentine's performance. I remember it. Like, I remember it happening. I remember that Cecilia, gave me a kiss on the cheek, and I remember that we used candy bars to, flirt. And in my memory, there's like a board, that the jokes are written out, and the candy, is glued to the board where that punchline is, um, of like, you look like 100 grand, and the 100 grand is on there. Um, but I found footage of that, and that memory exists, and it is. I'm glad. Now I have that footage, and now I have footage, which is amazing. That was like a yes moment, to find the footage of a memory. But the footage also updated a faulty memory that, Cecilia gave Howdy Doody a kiss on the cheek, and, there was no board with the candy on it. That is a mixed memory of, I have seen that before, and I had placed it in that memory because my grandpa, uh, I would imagine, had to have written the script, and then I'm looking at the script on, a music stand, as, I'm doing the bit of, "Oh, you look like 100 grand," and then he holds up the 100 grand and gives it to Cecilia, and by the end, she has a handful of, candies, and then she says, "All right, am I done now?" Yeah, that I'm gonna make that reel for Valentine's Day. That'll be good. Um, I made this Valentine's this year because um, my friend Daisy was at Mercury Lounge whenever I was there, and her and some other friends had uh, old magazines and the just construction craft supplies to make Valentines. And so I sat down with them and I made a Valentine. And uh, the front of it is um, a a girl being held while she's crying, and then this man who was pointing to the universe in is saying, pointing at them and saying, "This could be us." Um, then look right here. Plunge into excitement with googly eyes and turning around all dramatically and showing his butt. And then Happy Valentine's Day, love, Cody Jensen. And then in parentheses, don't worry, I made one of these for everyone. Because my plan, whenever I was making it, was giving it to Jana Riley as a joke callback, giving a callback joke for Jana Riley. And because the story of that is last January, she is gorgeous, and her face radiates in a crowd of people. And so in the crowd of people, I thought she was sending out some energy. I thought, I'm pretty sure she's looking at me, and I'm pretty sure she's like sending me some energy. And that happens for enough weeks where I'm like, I need to talk to her. I need to approach her because like my brain was like so set that, yeah, this something's happening here. And then Valentine's Day rolls around, and there are Valentines in my box, and I take them out, and one of them is from Jana. And I was like, oh, yeah, I wasn't wrong. So I looked her number up on our church directory, and I called her with confidence um, because, of course. And she doesn't answer, but I leave a message and I tell her that I think maybe there's been some energy or something like that. But basically, even if there's not, obviously you're beautiful. Not, I didn't say obviously you're beautiful. I said I do know that you are beautiful. And then said if you'd be interested in just in meeting up just to get to know each other a little bit, let me know. You can call me or text me back, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And by the way, thanks for the Valentine. And 45 minutes later, I get a text from her, and she says, hey, Cody, I put a Valentine's in everybody's box. I'm not interested. And I was like, that was whenever I completely lost faith in my flirt dar, um, because that had happened one too many times where like I'm like, I'm pretty sure that that girl's flirting with me, and then slide in them DMs or whatever it need be, and oh, I'm flattered but not interested. So I was like, I can't trust this anymore. But then uh, I still had a crush on Jana, and she's still beautiful. So in those circumstances, I have a hard time with internal anxiety, and we have over the course of a year, uh, I have gotten to feel more less. I mean, it's just gotten more normal, uh, and so I made this to give to Jana as a joke, as a callback joke to that, but I don't want to make it weird again or weirder than it should be. And so I'm still on the road of if I'm going to actually give this to her. And the place that I'm at right now is uh, if I give it to her, I have to tell her when I give it to her that this is a joke. Um, and telling you it's a joke ruins the joke a little bit, but I would rather ruin the joke than risk making anything weird. Which is uh, why it says, um, "Don't worry, I made one of these for everyone." Um, and I hope that I was thinking I hope that she would get the joke, um, and think it's funny. 43 minutes. Um, I think I will. I don't know. I was gonna say I think I'll maybe eventually forget, but I don't see that. I mean, I don't think that. Honest, this is where I'm getting at. That I'll ever forget that Valentine's Day is Sarah's birthday. One one positive silver lining with my ex-wife's birthday being on Valentine's Day, and being divorced, is I never got a Valentine's Day myself, because it's her birthday and she's not going to share her birthday with Valentine's Day. And so we never celebrated Valentine's Day, which means it's not any part my day, it's Sarah's day, which makes sense. I wouldn't want to either. Um, but so I was 100% supportive and on board with this tradition that we don't do Valentine's Day, we do your birthday because it's your birthday. But now I do have Valentine's Day, and I don't have anybody to give Valentine's Day to, a Valentine to, except for the girl who turned me down last year. So this could be us cry. I'm the one crying. Mm. I don't remember if I said this yesterday, but I made progress on uh, the baptismal at City Church, because I posted on um, Slack, and I got 2 responses, and going to coordinate with those 2 people to create what I would like to do. Also, another idea that I'm updating, like I'm brainstorming on right now, is in the City Impact Center. When you first walk in, there is a wall that curves around, from you're walking into the L of a hallway, and on the inside L, um, that you immediately see, I want to put a mural there, and then a custom LED that says, restore the streets, rebuild the walls, redeem the ruins. And my idea is this mural is apartment blocks, all with all these windows, and some have the lights on and some of them don't, and some of them have people in them, and create a design that way, whether it is some of the lights are on, whether it is a photograph, a painting, a AI created piece that is then vinyled. The same with the photograph. And I almost think painted is the way to go here. And I'm going to give that task to the church and the arts team. And oh, that's awesome. I just thought of the City Arts chat is public. So I can, if I post on the whole church channel, a project, I can tell them about the City Arts chat channel, and they can just hop in there and join the conversation. it jumps through the application process to be a part of City Arts, and the City Arts application is not a whether or not somebody gets in. It's just letting us know what all skills you have. Yeah, so I'm thinking through that. Anyways, giving that as a project where maybe I create the initial apartment block look. We trace that, then it gets painted, and then anybody who wants to can paint one or more windows to be a little scene. So people, it's lots of little paintings within a big piece. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okie dokie. Trying to think if that's all that I want to say and end this before the next recording starts. Or to keep going. It is Thursday, which is my Friday at 6:30. I do want to go out. I would like to go out, but I don't know where to go out to. Because I don't really, I want to go out right now. I would love to dance, but the places that are it's socially appropriate to dance at 6:30, those places are slim pickings, and I don't necessarily want to be out super late because I still want to get up tomorrow feeling good, refreshed, and enjoy my Sabbath and it be productive. So that's where I'm at. That I wish there was a daytime nightclub. A day club that was a nightclub. Is. Yeah. I think that's all she wrote for today. Good night.